cents on it?
No, there's only
No cents.
660.
The next bid is Spring Hill Construction in Dalton, Ohio.
It was sealed, right?
Yes, it was. Bid bond, 10% of the amount of the bid. And the bid amount is $187,000, 641 or $641.00. So that's 187,641. Next bid is from LLI Construction, it is sealed. Sure you're all familiar with LLI? They're local.
How local are they?
Their address says West Alexander, PA. Hmm? Well, yeah, that was. Oh, delivered to, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My fault. I'll let you know, they're actually from Pittsburgh. So it was sealed, and they do have a bond for Western Sewer. 10% of the amount of the bid. And the total bid amount is $179,000, 179,000. Next bid is from Sweet Construction. It is sealed. And they do have a bid bond for 10% of the amount of the bid. I have another letter here regarding the bid bond, but that's okay. They do have a 10% of the amount of the bid. And the total price is $220,000, 220,000.
That's not too sweet.
Yeah, this is number 6. This is from Waller Corporation, Washington, PA. And they do a bid bond of 10% of the amount of the bid. And the total price is $288,888.
Who always says
Yes. Whoa. What's this? Okay, we'll just say what happened. Okay.
That's the way it came in.
The last bid is from Lorna.
What was that?
Lorna?
That's me, one.
On our list.
It's not on the list.
It was sealed, right?
Was sealed, yes. We're gonna get the real name here in a second. Yeah, it's Lornat Incorporated from Butler, PA.
I can spell it.
LORNAT Incorporated. For some reason. Right, you received it before 3 o'clock, right? So it's good. And they have a bid bond, I'm sure, if I can find it. 10% of the amount of the bid. Okay, and their total price is $197,283. 197,283.
We need a motion to table these.
I think the appropriate thing is to have the engineer review
Who runs the review?
and make a recommendation on the lowest responsible. Now, here's a key thing. Let's deal with McBracy, because they apparently appear to be the low end. Is there a public works employment verification form in their package?
What is the second bidder?
We're gonna give it to you, sweet, so forget about it.
That was McBracy, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, and it is signed by Patrick Bracy,
And it's dated.
5/9/2017.
Okay.
Gary, what is that? What you just said, what is that?
It's required by state law that all public bids over $25,000 have to have a public works employment verification form as part of their bid package before any bid can be awarded. In fact, if you look in the most recent, I think it's the May edition of the PSAT, Township News, in the back they give you, pointers. They spend a lot of time talking about that. And it's new to a lot of people. A lot of packages haven't had that. And they're pretty specific that it shall be included, and you cannot award a bid until there's proof that that's been filed with them.
What exactly is that?
Yeah, what does that
I guess
mean?
I guess they adhere to the prevailing wage rates and the discrimination rules that are out there in terms of the employees that they can use for the job.
So abide by state and or federal law?
State law.
State law, okay.
Gordon, how long do you need to review those? How many days?
He'd probably be ready by Monday. We might have to make a few phone calls, and that depends on if we can connect with the bidder. And Gary, I always include, if they're gonna make a motion, to have the engineer and also the solicitor in case we have a question to ask you. But I think we'd be ready to issue our recommendation by Monday.
What, Chief, what's Monday, what is next Monday?
15.
You wanna review those, you two guys review them and get back to township before then? Give us a recommendation?
Yeah, we'll write a written recommendation. I don't know if Gary needs to review them, but I include Gary because in case I have a question regarding legalities of it, and then I'll contact them.
There would have been a motion to table these pending solicitor and engineer review.
A recommendation.
We will review those, and we will take those up for a vote on Monday evening at 7?
Well, if that's the case, this is the 7th? Okay.
Yeah. Make that the motion that we table these bids pending the review of the solicitor and the engineer. And we'll take those up for a vote on a continued meeting to be held on the 15th of May, 7 p.m. I don't think your presence would be required if you want to notify us by email or whatever.
We usually put it in written form and
Yeah, that's fine.
send it down, copy the solicitor.
Is,
You have to make-
Wait a minute, wait a minute. You want a second?
Made that as a motion, right?
Yes.
Second.
Any questions?
is there a cutoff time when we have to make a decision on this and, start time and that sort of thing, or is it pretty much loose at this point,
I believe I believe the township has 30 days
30 days,
before the bids are invalid.
to approve or disapprove?
Right.
Okay. And construction, is there a start time or not?
Well, no, once it's awarded, then the contractor, we have to get the contracts out to him, he has to submit the contract, signed contract back
Okay.
with,
I understand, thank
bonds
you.
and insurance, et cetera, so then we issue notice to proceed, the clock doesn't start ticking. And Ed, did we provide, it was probably 90 days to do the construction. It may be 60, but I'm not sure, I haven't looked.
I don't know, I haven't seen anything more.
It's either 2 or 3 months
Thank you.
for time of completion.
Any other questions? Good, Ed.
When they're, you say they're reviewing the bids, what are you looking for when you're reviewing the bids?
Just the bid forms and the bonds, or the bid bond. That's it, it was one lump sum. We'll look to see if there's any exceptions taken, because I haven't completely gone through all the paper they provided, because we say no exceptions. So if they write a qualifier and say, this is our price, but we're not gonna do this, then we can reject that. But again, we have to look at everything they submitted. But this is per bid specifications and plans that were sent out. So we're not looking for any alteration to the design or construction.
Excuse me, sir, what about material? Materials used?
They have, by awarding this, they have to build according to the specifications.
Okay, so you already know what those are?
Yeah,
Okay.
Right.
yeah, the engineers drew this building up, everything's spec'd out, and they had to bid off of that.
No, sir.
I understand that part, but
They're gonna make sure that they stay within the guidelines, right?
yeah, who checks these, I mean, how do we know these are reputable?
Well, that's the other thing we do.
Today's one.
That's the other thing we do.
How's
Yeah,
the quality of work? I mean-
no, we do check their references, and we make phone calls,
Okay,
make sure they're not in trouble anywhere.
all right, that was my main.
Oh, okay,
That
yeah.
Somebody check and make sure they're a reputable company.
Yes.
Would you say clearly or spell that 158,500 bid Brancy, what?
McBracy.
McBracy,
Bracy.
thank you.
They've been
My,
around a while.
my company is in the process of using them right now to build Letitia.
Go ahead, JD.
Question or suggestion. If the only thing you'd go over for the paperwork is to see if it meets the specs and qualifications, McBracy's clearly the lowest bid, they are local, they've got a good reputation, they've been around, they're the most local. Why don't you just have the engineer go in the office and review that packet while you can, while you're conducting the meeting,
Good idea.
and then he can let you know if it's just a meeting the guidelines and
Well, the
it's all spec
attorney's
the same.
gonna need to review it as well, and make sure that it meets the legal requirements. So, I don't think that's wise, not spend that kind of money without doing our due diligence on it.
I'm not saying spend that kind of money, I'm just saying.
No, what I'm saying, we're gonna spend that kind of money, I think we need to do the due diligence to make sure they get a chance to review it. And I understand moving on in a hurry, but I don't think an extra week's gonna, not hurt this project any.
Any other questions? How you vote?
You get 3 days.
Dave,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Zach,
Yeah.
So you have, Gordon?
That's all I have, and I'll be on my way.
Okay.
So I don't-
To review.
Do you want to take all of these right now?
Yeah.
review, and
Yeah.
then give
Yeah, you should, because if you find something wrong with the McBracy bid,
I have to go to the next
you gotta go
one.
to the next one.
Gary?
Just a couple items, I've given you my report. We've provided the information that Attorney Max Junker requested concerning the application and fees for the temporary construction trailers at the Gibraltar compressor site. He requested information, and he's going to get back to us with the position. Representatives at Range have continued their request that the supervisors, at their convenience, meet so that they can talk about the procedures going forward that involve road cuts, road borings, heavy hauling, etc. And that's really all I have to report.
Okay. Planning Commission.
We had two items to take care of. One was the display at McGuffey Park with Bob Frazier. We went out and looked at this project. And there were a couple of questions raised by the UCC Burbage. And we've taken care of and answered those questions as well. And they're willing, they're going to proceed with the project without any problems. The other thing was a setback. Dave Ely's construction at 130 Shirley Road. There were questions back and forth about what the setback be. That setback was granted and allowed to proceed. And the other thing was on zoning, and as usual, we're just plugging along with that.
Police Department.
Yes, sir. For the month of April, we provided 496 hours of service. We responded to 205 calls for service. Of those 205 calls for service, 11 were UCR reportable crimes, to include 1 simple assault, 3 harassments with physical contact, 1 harassment by communication, 1 sexual assault, 1 burglary, 1 hit and run, 1 theft by deception, 1 theft, and 1 PFA violation. Of those 11, 10 investigations have been closed, 1 remains under active investigation. Property loss for the month of April was low, it was $550 for the township. In April, officers conducted 55 traffic stops that produced 28 citations, as well as investigated 2 traffic accidents. Officers patrolled approximately 5,383 miles and used approximately 374.4 gallons of gas in combination with our contracts. You'll see the magisterial district fines collected for the month reflected in the report. And attached, as always, you will find copies of the reports reported to Claysville. The reports is provided to Claysville and Buffalo Township. As per our practice, the fines collected for Buffalo Township for the first quarter, the report's attached from the magistrate's office, and we've deducted half of that total from their bill for this month. That's been our practice to offset. We get half their fines, but the state sends the entire amount of the fine to us. So that's how we've agreed to adjust it. I'm requesting the board's approval for the use of the township meeting room for an informal public informational meeting. And I'll get into this in a second. The purpose of the meeting is basically to allow residents to meet the officers. We'll try to have all the officers here. Sit down, we can go over some of the stuff we've been doing. It's a little hard in these meetings, and we've had a lot of questions. And get some input, get some feedback from you guys. I'd like to do it on the 24th, if the space is available, from 7 to 8 p.m. And I'm requesting use of the township meeting room. Let's see here. All residents are invited. That's it. I appreciate your attention to matters, and I'm available if you have any questions. Also, I have Officer Camerson here as per your request. So I'm not sure what you want to do with that or how you want to handle that.
Let's approve the motion to grant the use of the meeting room or any other room at that date and time if it's so available.
The only reason I considered this room is because it's handicap accessible.
But you make you said May 24th at what time, I'm sorry?
From 7 to 8,
Thank you, sir.
and we'll announce it officially.
I'll second the motion.
Any questions? How you vote?
Dave,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Thank you.
Does everybody understand what the chief's doing here?
Meet and greet?
Yeah.
A meet and greet with the township residents, for folks to get to know the police department to get to know the people, talk about your concerns, ask any questions, whatever you want to talk about.
wide open to everybody. With that, Officer Camerson. Come on out here where everybody can see you. Okay, for those who don't know this young man, this is Officer Jack Camerson. You might recall there was an article in the paper about him here a month and a half ago. He's the young man that went into Dutch Fork Lake and pulled the lady out. Pulled the lady out that fell out of the boat, and Fire Chief Graham read a letter of commendation for him last meeting, I think, from the fire department. But on behalf of the supervisors, we would like to present you this plaque, Jack. It says presented to Patrolman Jack Camerson in recognition and appreciation of your commitment, dedication, and bravery on March 26, 2017, from the Donegal Township Board of Supervisors. You might notice that Officer Camerson has this little ribbon here on his uniform above his name tag. It's hard to see from the back probably, but there are 2 blue crosses on that ribbon. We had a little police department ceremony here this afternoon in the office where we presented Jack with that ribbon, because back in December of last year, he responded to a medical call in Claysville for a lady who was unconscious and not breathing. He was first on the scene, administered CPR to that lady until the Claysville EMS got there and took over. She was subsequently transported to the hospital and made a complete recovery. And the Claysville Rescue Squad said, undoubtedly, he probably saved her life. So
Office and fiscal operations.
Nothing to report. The treasury report will show you that the revenues have been coming in a little better than we expected. Financially, we're very, I want to say stable. We're stable at this point, nothing to get too concerned about. Is it, Danny? Going along. The major expenditures we got going right now is, of course, some repairs, and we got a truck we're gonna have to budget for, or have to order a truck sometime soon. We have water and sewer issues with the pump station on Tunnel Street, and there's gonna be some expense to that. But financially, I think we're up to that.
Approval of the minutes submitted for April 12, 2017. Motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
second.
Any questions?
On page 4, I don't understand a request that was approved, of course, James Brady Flat, a temporary unit, I suppose. I don't understand what that is. I obviously wasn't at the meeting.
It's called a granny flat.
No, it's just a-
Yeah, and what it is in reference to your grandmother. It's called a
Okay,
granny flat, but it could be any relative or a close relative that's going to, you're putting up in a housing unit near your home for a short period of time or a temporary period of time.
so is this like a mobile home or something like that?
Yes, yes.
Ah, that's what I
It's
wanted.
a temporary, only for that family member. If they
Right.
move out, you can't put it up for rent to someone else.
Now, was it on their property or,
Yes.
It's already in.
okay,
And then, yeah, it was no issue. We've never, as far as I know, it's the first granny flat we've ever had.
I never heard of anything like that before, and that's why I questioned this.
And I think in that instance, it permits you under the sewage act
Yes.
for two residences to share the same septic
As long as
system.
they have to keep under a certain gallons of water usage. You can only put a certain amount of gallons into the septic system.
Okay,
It's
now,
limited.
my question then, why would somebody approach the board and look for permission? Why couldn't if I don't, I'm too old to have a parent, but if my parent, why couldn't I bring in a little stubby trailer and stick it on the side and use my water, my sewage and that sort of thing? If it is indeed temporary, and,
You could under that provision, under the granny flat provision. It's available to anyone.
It's just for tax reasons,
Yeah.
Okay, well,
mostly for
in all
tax.
respect, I mean, no. Well, see, that's what I'm getting to. Why would it be an issue in the first place? Was there ever a,
Because only the township supervisor can issue the permit. It involves sewage. And that's an exception to the Sewage Act.
Yeah, it's up to the Washington County Sewage Council, and they pushed it on to us,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
It
so
requires
so it
public
was the
vote.
hookup of a sewage system of some sort that then focused on the township, and the township had to make some sort of a decision on this?
Right.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
JD?
I have a question. Page 4, down toward the bottom, you have, Mr. Ely requested it be documented that Kathy Ricecroft was out of order. I would say one of two things there. Either you need to strike that from the minutes, or you need to add that Mr. Ely was out of order. Reason being, Mr. Ely addressed during public comment, there is a time for supervisor comment prior to that. He didn't utilize that time. He used public comment time for that. Addressed several issues, and there was several inaccuracies stated, and did not give public comment the public time to respond.
Let's change this to say, that Mr. Ely, ruled Kathy out of order. That would be a fact and not a.
Well, then you would need
No,
that.
no, he actually did that.
I understand that. My
That will make
contention,
it, that'll make it fact.
my contention would be, if you want that documented on the minutes, you also need to add that Mr. Ely was out of order then.
Needed to,
Because you guys did not follow proper procedure.
JD, I can make a comment
let's
as a
say-
citizen, or I can make a
Let's-
comment as a
we got
supervisor.
a motion
Then you're
on the
gonna
floor.
have to move over here to this side of the
We
table.
need to-
But that letter was addressed as comments from the
Point of order.
board, not as a
Calling for
citizen.
point of order. Do I need to amend my motion? I'd like, do we vote on the amendment? Put on the minute. I would move that we amend the motion to change that approval to say that you ruled her out of order and that not that she was out of order. That's,
But the reason why you contend she's out of order is because she was pointing out that you guys were out of order, not
it's
following
the motion
procedure.
to amend.
So you either gotta make that null and void or add that Dave was out of order.
Need to hush.
Yeah. Do you want to second it?
I'll second it. Now,
Okay, call for a vote.
How you vote?
Dave,
Yes.
Doug,
What have you just voted?
We're voting on the motion to amend.
And it is,
Dave, Doug, how do you
Yes.
vote?
Yes,
Zach, how do you
Yes.
vote?
yes.
now we need to vote on the motion to approve, correct? Okay, motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Second.
Any questions?
Yeah, I want it on the record that I object. You're not listening to what I say, and you're not following proper procedure, and not,
Go ahead.
Gary, can you address
We're
this?
moving
No.
on.
They have to approve the minutes, JD. It can't be changed by audience or by public comment. It's up to them to approve the minutes. I mean, your statement can be noted for this set of minutes, for this meeting.
Yeah.
can you address the validity of what his statement is implying?
No, I won't do that.
Okay, I'll call for a vote.
Dave, how do you vote?
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
and what is JD's statement?
Okay, you can have
For the
them.
minutes.
You can note it for the minutes. Did he object to the wording?
JD, what's your objection? What's your objection?
Tammy, what I said was that you guys made a motion to approve the minutes, okay?
We understand that. Tell her what your objection
I
is.
am getting that. Approving minutes is stating that they're correct. I'm saying that it's not correct, that they should either strike that from the minutes, that she was not out of order, or they should add that Mr. Ely was out of order.
Would you like
And
to write a statement to have her included
For
in the
those
minutes?
reasons. What's
Why
that?
don't you write down a statement, we'll have her put it in the minutes.
Can you do that?
However you want to say it.
I'm telling you right here,
Okay.
in open meeting,
Now, we're,
public record, you can,
we got a lot of
Yeah.
agenda here. If you write it down, we'll put it in the way you want it.
I just told you no.
Move on.
It's on the record.
Announcements on April 27, 2017, Dave Ely and Zach Prescott held an executive session regarding personnel matters from 7 PM to 7:15. On April 28th, 2017, Dave Ely and Zach Prescott held an executive session regarding personnel matters from 8:15 a.m. to 9:15 a.m. Additional motions added to the agenda.
I have none.
Financial report. Motion to approve the treasurer's report.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? How you vote?
Dave,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Zach.
Yes.
John Fortis, Integrated Environmental Services, an independent contractor, was hired to operate and maintain the wastewater treatment plant and pump station and the water distribution center. He was hired on an interim 3-month trial basis beginning March 1st, 2017 through May 31st, 2017. Motion to extend his contract for 3 additional months.
I'll make it as a motion so we can discuss it.
Second.
Any questions?
Yes. I don't know, in my interpretation of reading the contract, once they complete the trial period, the contract becomes a 1-year contract. I don't think this option is in there to extend it 3 months, but we have the option of terminating that contract by giving, I think, 60 days notice. I think we, rather than approve this, I don't know whether we can approve it or whether we should advise otherwise. In that contract, I don't believe it gives us an option. I think once you do your first 3 months, it turns into a 1-year contract. But we'll give 60 days notice to terminate.
Contract.
We have it right here.
You're right, after 3 months, which is the trial period, for it to be extended would be for 1 year, unless Integrated agrees to another 3 months.
Right.
If they would agree to modify their conditions and responsibility provision,
But isn't there like a 60-day notice we can give to terminate?
after the trial period, Donegal Township reserves the right to terminate this contract at will with a 60-day notification to Integrated Environmental Services. So it basically becomes a 2-month contract
Mhm.
after the
Right.
probation period.
Right. I don't see where that helps us going with the 3 months, because it'd be 2 months.